really important that we begin to change the mindset of young people to know that your vote counts.
They don't understand that the legislative arm of government is actually a co-equal arm of government.
We have an incredible amount of potential.
Whatever it is I was doing, because of my personal DNA, it had to be of an international standard.
Which is what, seriously speaking, is all about. You don't need any research to let you understand that there are certain sectors in our economy that are really, really pathetic. The health sector is one of them. And until you fall ill, you probably will never really realize how bad it is. And on the show today, I'm going to try to help you see how one day can make a difference in your life and everything turns around. And you realize that you are not only totally dependent on God, but you are dependent on the mercy of others and how effective your health system is. It's a story of a mother and daughter who have found spinal injury to be the thing that has made their lives better. Can you believe it? We'll be back in a short while on Seriously Speaking with my guest on the show today. Stay tuned.
My name is Ifena Otobo. Some people call me Efe, and this is my story. I loved reading. I used to love running, Pilates, yoga. I enjoyed traveling, spending time with family and friends. And then one day, one moment, one instance, my life drastically changed. On Easter Monday 2014, I was on my way to a friend's place. This car came out of nowhere, crashed into us. I lunged forward. It was like a whiplash movement, and my legs just went. I looked up at the sky, and I knew from this moment on that my life was never going to be the same. From the scans, they told me that I had a spinal cord injury. I can't even describe to you how painful the whole thing was.
For those of you who are very, very familiar with social media and use it, you probably would have seen or heard the story of Efena Otobo, because GoFundMe was one of the crowdfunding platforms that he used to raise money for this young woman who was living a vibrant life until last year, April at Easter, and everything changed, like she said in that video. Now, I have on set with me the mother of this child, who is 29 years old today. It's my pleasure to invite Alero Otobo to join us today. Hi, Alero.
Hello, Adeswa.
It's nice to have you. I mean, you look so good, man.
You look beautiful too. Thank you. Bless you.
You know why I say you look so good? One would expect that with the kind of thing that you have, the pain that your family has undergone in the past year plus, one would think that you would be bent over and sad.
Adeswa, you're seeing the end product of a journey that was extremely painful.
Okay.
And extremely difficult. Yes, the first 3-4 months were very, very hard. It was a time of grief, a time of sorrow. When you lose something that is precious, death of anything, death of a loved one, death of marriage, death of loss of your mobility, there's a sadness that comes because your life is no longer the same. So the first 3-4 months were extremely difficult. But I want to say that even during those 3-4 months, I didn't lose hope. And as a person of faith, I just had to hold on to the only thing that we had, which is my faith and my love for the person who promised that he will take us through the journey. So there were many nights when I would be crying in the hospital room. My daughter, I thought, would be asleep. And I'll be weeping in the bathroom and asking questions. How did we get here? Because from the video that you've seen, the first 2-3 months, Ifena had to learn everything again. She had
everything that had to do with mobility.
Everything to do with mobility. But you see, what happens to spinal cord injury? It affects your entire body, all your organs. So your bladder fails. Your bowels fail.
How do you go?
So you don't, it just comes out.
Oh, wow.
So I had my daughter once again, and I think that's what people need to understand. You see somebody in a wheelchair, but they're wearing what you call adult diapers. Yes. Because at that point in time, the first 3 months, until they learn how to control their bowels, it can come out anytime.
Why? Now, you are a professional.
Yes.
Your background is law.
No, my background, I actually read human sciences at Oxford University, Somerville College. And then I did urban and regional planning at University College London. And then in 2001, I decided so much has happened in the world, I have to go back to school. So I went to London Business School. So I've got,
okay, yeah.
So it's a whole management, where I did management, an MBA for adults. And then I've done urban and regional planning, like I said, and human.
Well, I'm going that route because you are a true professional. Your daughter also is a professional. What's her
She's a professional. She actually read her favorite subject, economics and politics. And she was at Bristol University. And then did the master's at SOAS, School of Oriental and African Studies. And out of my 3 children, she was the only one that came back to Nigeria.
Yeah, because
to do youth corps.
Yeah.
And she was working with AMCON, Asset Management Company of Nigeria, when this accident happened.
So I know that she had just come for her youth. She had just finished her youth service.
She finished her youth corps.
And she was supposed to be going back.
She had finished her youth corps, went back to do her master's, and then started work with AMCON. And it then happened Easter Monday 2014, and that was when
you were in Abuja
changed.
and she's in Lagos.
I was back in Lagos.
Tell me about that morning. Was it in the morning or in the evening?
It was around 1 p.m. She was going to see a friend who was going to have a small mini get-together for friends, and her father actually felt she shouldn't go out, and we now all wish that he had stopped her. You know her parents, but he let her go. And it's one of those unfortunate incidences where the car didn't somersault.
She was driving?
She wasn't driving. Somebody else was driving. So it was a car hire, like an Uber.
Yeah, yeah.
But not Uber, so please, it was not Uber, it was just regular car hire.
Yeah.
And another car came from the side and went right in front of them. So her driver, to avoid a crash, swerved to the left and hit the pavement. That impact with the car that they were avoiding hitting her side now made her jerk forward and go backwards, like she explained in the video. She went forward, came back, and her spine fractured. So it's what they call a seatbelt accident.
She was belted.
She was. She had
even
a
though she was
on.
sitting at the back. Because typical Nigerians don't do it.
Yes. So that was what was most unfortunate. So I dread to think, what if she wasn't wearing a seatbelt? Would that impact have made her go right through the wind? We don't know. The car didn't somersault. We hear stories of cars somersaulting 3-4 times and they come out without a scratch. So my daughter keeps asking, Mommy, why wasn't I one of those people? But there is a purpose for everything, and we're seeing now that there's a bigger picture and a story that is unfolding that has given us a burden for people that are disabled.
No, okay, and the interesting thing is, it also opened your eyes. You are definitely upper middle class, not necessarily, and yet, when this thing happened, the first port of call was the government hospital.
Yes, because when we went to a private hospital, they did the X-ray and they knew how serious the accident was. They didn't tell us, but they just said, sorry, you have to go to National Orthopedic, because they couldn't do the spinal cord injury. They couldn't do the operation there. There's something called decompression.
They knew they had to have an operation.
Yes, they knew. And the success of of that kind of operation is enhanced the sooner you do it. And that's my first pain, because we are now arrived at Igbobi around 5 p.m., Easter Monday 2014, and we did not see the consultant until the next day at 11 a.m.
So what were you doing?
We were in pain.
As a parent?
It was, my daughter was in excruciating pain. They finally put her in a ward with no mosquito, not mosquito net, the things that you put on the window.
On the blinds.
Yes. So we walked in, and would you believe that the first thing we were told as we walked into the ward at 11 p.m., or they wheeled her into the wall, was not, oh, you're welcome, oh, how are you? That empathy, that compassion. The first question that came out of the nurse was, where's your mosquito net?
Well, maybe the system has made them that cold.
And that's part of the things that we need to take a second look at. Everywhere we have been since we left Nigeria, the one word that I will say encapsulate what we've gone through is the empathy, the compassion, the care, and the love. So when you are caring compassionately for someone who has gone through a life-transforming accident, that compassion and that care matters. And it doesn't depend on whether you're qualified or not. Anybody can show compassion.
So tell me, at those times, I mean, it's still very fresh in your memory.
Yes.
Were you thinking about, oh, poor Nigerians, how will they survive? Or, oh, if only we could turn back the clock at that time?
What it was, at that point in time, it was turning back the clock and just wishing it never happened. But you see, after that experience of mosquito nets, and I said, okay, we'll go to Obalende and buy. I said, Madam, at 11 p.m. you can't go. I said, for my daughter, I'll go anywhere. So we are going. And I was telling my husband, let's go. Then one of them now said, just wait, let me go to Ward C. Maybe I'll find a mosquito net.
That was some empathy.
So she, waddled to Ward C and found a mosquito net. Then I now thought they would let me spend the night. And they said, no, that I can't sleep. So this is somebody who had just been through a major accident. She's lost all mobility because she said as soon as the accident happened, she knew that she was paralyzed.
She couldn't feel any part of her.
Couldn't feel anything. As soon as she just heard this click, you know.
So who called you people?
It was her. She had the presence of mind. Now, do you know how she had the presence of mind? My daughter loves entertainment, and she watches a lot of series. I don't know whether you know about Grey's Anatomy. Mm-hmm. She watches it.
Oh, absolutely.
That now I've learned, right, that there are educational programs. Those series, you learn a lot. Do you know the knowledge that she had is what saved my daughter? Because she remembered spinal cord injury. She knew that she should not sit on her spine.
Wow.
So all through till her father came, she sat like this.
Wow.
Now, the thing about spinal cord injury is that on the outside, you can't see what has happened.
Because there was no injury.
No blood, not a drop of blood. So the people who came to first rescue her were the area boys, and they wanted to carry her anyhow. And the thing about spinal cord injury, you don't move. You have to be very careful because you can sever what is still there if it has not been severed. Okay. So she said, no, please don't move me. And she now held herself like this, told them exactly, she had the presence of mind. She didn't pass out because I've heard many usually pass out from the pain. But she had the presence of mind to describe what they should do, how they should move her. She gave them her father's number because he was the closest to her, and he came. Do you know that the two drivers were quarreling? That they didn't even know when my husband picked up our daughter, put her in his car, and drove off.
Wow.
And we got to the hospital in Victoria Island. They took one look at the X-ray, and they said we have to go to Igbobi.
Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate your time with us. I wish you a safe journey back to your daughter. We must go, but I'm appreciative of this, and I hope that in some ways will inspire some others to begin that fund that would help. We don't all have to wait for government. And we wonder, all those locked spinal cord injury people, the Lord is your strength, and you will be mobile, at least in the mind. Thank you for watching. That's been Seriously Speaking for today.